Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't think this is working super well, but we'll find out. Apologize if the chat situation isn't going to work out super well for us. There we go. Sorry, I finally found what I was looking for. Let me make sure I've got everything where I need it. Okay, so I appreciate your patience there. We're going to go ahead and do some pro VOD reviews today. So this is something that I'm wanting to start where we can watch games together and essentially we can look at a pro. Now, there's a lot of pro gameplay out there. A lot of it's for entertainment primarily. Not a lot of educational content out there, so I'm just an Eternus Deadlock coach, and I'm going to be giving you an analysis of an Eternus professional, giving you kind of a breakdown of what I think he's thinking, why I think he's doing what he's doing, just so you get a high-level idea, because most streamers such as this one are mostly trying to entertain, so do my best to answer any questions or just give you an analysis. We're watching Parzelian, or Pars, play Infernus in this game. So I'll kind of just give you an analysis and a VOD review of this game to start.
I should get a relic.
So it's going to be a really interesting lane phase actually, because Mina's fairly strong in the lane phase and Furnace is okay, but Celeste and Abrams are also pretty good in the lane phase here, so... Going away from that Abrams shoulder charge. Constantly in a good position where it's hard for them to hit him, especially because Abrams' shotgun is a little bit longer range, so if he can stay further away, he's going to take a little bit less damage, stay away from that shoulder charge, but it is going to be harder to get his burns, so I wonder if his primary target is going to be the Celeste, other than the Abrams just being good right now. Sliding around to maximize his ammo, getting that infinite ammo clip, so he doesn't have to reload as often, can create more pressure. Double burns the Abrams with that charge and gets the wave. Very efficient. minutes are up. He's gonna go for minis. I believe his Mina just stole their minis because Mina's incredibly efficient at killing mini camps with her rake. So the comm was probably that he would get solo farm on their minis and Mina would get theirs. So they have a soul lead in lane, early soul lead, meaning if they maintain this lead, they will get ultimates first. Doing a little bit of box farming before the wave crashes. So Abrams rotated over towards left, as we can see on the minimap. So we're going to try and get pressure on tower to make up for that, since they did get a kill over there. Gonna parry the tower so the minions last longer against that tower. Also gonna get a dash in. That was aggressive. And just steal as many orbs as possible. Silver has now rotated over to compensate for the Abrams switch over on the left. Early roaming is very common in higher elo. Hello Wilson. The grind is going well. We're just doing a pro VOD review, this isn't my gameplay. Just wanted to be clear.
I'll set a fire like New York's never seen.
So just tell you what I'm looking at. I'm seeing that the clock is at 4 minutes, so next wave, not this wave, but next wave is bridge buffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pars is going to try and push up here and create pressure on this next wave with Mina, so that they have priority on bridge buffs or can help fight bridge buffs. We'll see what he ends up doing, but I imagine he's going to play this a little bit more aggressively. This game is too fun. Do you play more games or stick to one? I play a bunch of games. My content isn't based around my gameplay. I found that gaming is a huge hobby of mine, but when I'm streaming it, it starts to turn into work. So me personally, I keep when I'm gaming to myself, that's private off stream, and then my content is based purely around educational content on this. Well, how long have you streamed on Twitch? I'm a brand new streamer, so I've only done a few streams on Twitch so far. Okay, so in fairness here, Pars is contesting the bridge buff, ends up losing it. He tries to parry the Vindicta, but he's a little bit early. He's hiding from Lash right now because Lash has ult, and we do not have ult because we are at a soul disadvantage here, even against our lane partners, so... That's great, brother. Where are you from? I'm from the United States, West Coast. I'm from Utah. Where are you from?
Such blessings, the king. Singularity's ready.
Are you also from the US? What part? The weather here is cold. We've actually had a really mild winter, but for the most part it's really cold. I play on PC primarily. Actually almost exclusively. I don't play any console. Not lately anyway.
You're not gonna regret that.
So as you can see, Celeste here is creating a lot of pressure even in a 1v2 because Pars is so weak, so he's letting that extra regen get him some help. He's trying not to take damage from her so he can get a little bit more health, not be on the back foot as much, gets that healing minion. But now that he feels a little healthier, they're going to try and take advantage of this 2v1, and there goes the ult. Yep. Oh, they even double ult. The Mina ult was probably overkill, but they are going to get Guardian for it while they're getting rotated on for the left, and while Abrams is in. How old are you? I'm 26. You used to play on PS4, but it dies.
Good luck completing
Your
the
little
ritual.
sis poured water on it out of anger. That is rough. I don't have any younger siblings. I'm the youngest, so I wouldn't be able to relate to that personally, and destroying technology actually just hurts my soul. That's really, really sad. Used to gain more than 6K followers here on Twitch and dropped streaming for some issues, so we deactivate my account. It sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you can always get back into it, I suppose, with a new account, or move in a different direction as well. Whatever you want to do. The world is your oyster, as they say, right? So we're hitting 8 minutes here. I imagine Pars is going to be looking for sinners or calming some sinners. He's staying blue lane, which is really interesting. He's actually going to be one of their side laners more than likely with Wraith. So I wonder if he's going to make a switch over to a side lane or if he doesn't care that much. But here comes the Sinners steal because we're at that 8-minute mark and Sinners is very important. He's trying not to get too much denied by this Ivy. He's feeling confident in this Ivy trade. And he has a Mina backing him up. There's an easy kill. Mina's still fighting Celeste, it looks like, but backing off because Mina is just a poke hero. So Mina looks for a lot of damage and then backs out. And Infernus is more sustained damage, so they actually kind of pair well together for her to burst and him to just kind of burn him down. They get the IV, steal the Sinners. He's going to go for this other Sinners because he knows Sinners is the top priority in farm outside of waves. So Pars maximizing his farming, understanding that he's a late game hero. I'm helping other beginner streamers who got potential to gain. I analyze your streamers' good skills. Good, you just have to improve your profile quality. Add some cool attractive logos, banners to make a boost. Give following viewers tips like anyone stuff and mask out yourself into version anyway. If you're down to it after drop and stream, help in other streamers too now from 4 years, so. That's awesome, listen. I appreciate the help. I'm probably not looking for it because I'm not mega serious. I just do this for fun. It's my day job. I imagine my content will get a little bit more professional as time goes on, but I appreciate the offer. I'm sure the people you're helping are very appreciative though. We're coming up on bridge buffs in 10 seconds. I don't know if Pars is going to be able to get there. We are looking at clearing this wave, and then we'll see if he makes it over there. Maybe he'll just finish farming.
Mythos has arrived. Let the king strengthen you.
You can drop your Discord in the channel and I may give it a look, yeah. Let me take it up, but I'm not looking to spend any money unfortunately, so if it's a paid service you're offering, then I wouldn't be able to help out, but you can drop your Discord and I'd be happy to take a look at it. So Pars has lane to himself. He understands that the majority of their team was just in left. They were just fighting a 2v3 and Dynamo was also heading over there, and then we got a 2v2 in right, so he knows at most he's going to be dealing with one person, if nobody, up mid. He's probably going to try and get pressure on this Walker or fight this Ivy when the Ivy's here. Looks like he's gonna maybe rotate over and help his team.
Defend green.
Looks like
Spirit jar is here.
they got out, so now he's just gonna go back to farming, making sure waves, keep his Guardian up, make sure waves are shoved and keep his Guardian up as long as possible. So I can show you some of my cool artworks. Yeah, happy to take a look at your artwork. Like I said, you can drop your Discord and I'd be happy to take a look at it another time.
Took him out.
Mostly focused on educational content though. I'm not looking to deal with any self-promotion or anything like that, but.
You wanna buy a mug to go with your gun?
So this is a huge buy and a huge power spike for Pars here. He just got Toxic Bullets, which is a massive power spike for him, both in gun and spirit, because he just hit his 4.8k gun spike. And now he has anti-heal, which gets rid of a lot of healing from Ivy, from Abrams, from Lash, and then any other lifesteal that they may be getting. Looks like he gets... Oh wow, what a good parry there. I mean, he didn't parry the Abrams, but to parry while he's dashing like that is very heads up because people will try and sneak you while you're doing that. Looks like he's gonna get both kills. Very well played by him in the 1v2. Dynamo hopes at the end there, but yeah, with that toxic World's power spike, it was a good time to be fighting, because he's got his 4.8k in both spirit and gun, meaning that he's going to be shredding them and reducing that Abrams healing by quite a lot. So very well done by Pars to be waiting for that power spike and then fighting with it. Warpstone really coming in clutch there, getting him out of the Vindictus snipes. Warpstone's also going to be good against Celeste ults, make it harder for her to hit if he's the target, make it easier for him to get away if it's on him so he doesn't bounce it to enemy teammates, going to make it easier to get away from a Lash ult but under cover, going to be good for getting away from an Ivy ult or an Ivy Gargoyle, it's going to be good for getting away from Silver since she has, in her ult has those melee attacks where he's going to want to get away from them, so really high value from the Warpstone, and then we just saw him against Vindicta. Heads up play from him, even this early in the game, he's already, 14k souls in, and he's already spent some significant money on some defensive items, so very well done from him. Huge combo here. This is actually tech. He just got burn up, used his 1 into dash instantly. He's trying to maintain those burns as long as possible. So he just shreds that Celeste and then he's able to finish the Abrams as well. So Pars probably dies here. Looks like he does. There's a lot of people on him, but incredible gameplay out of him to be able to get those that double kill, both of those kills there. Maximizing his ability usage with this 1, instantly dashing, maintaining burns after proccing his passive on somebody, and getting toxic bullets ramping on them. We're also buying Reactive Barrier, huge Reactive Barrier game. That's going to apply to Silver, Ivy, Vindicta, Lash, Abrams. I mean, he's going to get a lot of value out of that item, I imagine. So I really like seeing him buy that here. We'll see what he's able to do. Wraith is solo farming the right lane. I imagine he would want to be solo farming the left lane, but we'll see what he ends up doing. Looks like Viscous is going to catch this wave, but we'll see if Viscous leaves and gives him solo farm here or not. Not sure how well he's coordinating that or not. This isn't a professional game, it's just professional players, so he may not be, super sweaty. We got bridge buffs in 15. Maybe he's going to try and get the Sinners before he heads over. We'll see. Yep, and we're going to get bridge buffs. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he wants doubles more. Interesting choice. So I would have gotten bridge buff there, and that maybe Pars would tell you that that's a fumble on his point, that he just wasn't paying attention to the clock, but always pay attention to the clock here. He could have gotten that gun buff and then gotten doubles after, but maybe he has his reasons. It's not something that I would say is optimal. Definitely would have been paying attention to clock, fought bridge buff with the team, because they could have been waiting there. We didn't have a teammate there. Viscous ended getting up, but if Viscous wasn't there getting it, they could have gotten a free bridge buff, and then we could have gotten doubles after, so just something to be aware of. Even pros make mistakes or don't make an optimal decision all the time.
This is my time now.
Leaving, making it harder for her to hit those autos if she were to chase. Didn't look like she was fighting, but while that Light Eater is on him, he's going to take a lot of damage to autos, so he's trying to make it as hard as possible for her to hit those, especially because she can just bounce him off walls and objects and have him bounce into him, so good movement. He also has a massive bag, so he's not really looking to fight. You'll notice he has ult. Why isn't he fighting? Massive bag, so we always want to make sure that we're paying attention to our bag. Not fighting when we can just donate souls to them, as Lomain would say, making a donation to the enemy team. He is actually very aggressively positioned here, probably didn't see the Celeste on the minimap, and so now he's leaving because he saw her on the wave. Didn't see her before. Very aggressive positioning from him, given his health, and given the fact that he has this bag, but he thinks he can get away with it with how many people are fighting him left. And he might be right. Still risky gameplay for sure.
A blue walker is under attack.
No one stands between me and my destiny.
Pragmatic, stylish, I love it.
We'll see. He's got 5k on this Abrams. If I'm him, I'm fighting here. Looks like he didn't want to fight, just wanted to steal the farm, but maybe he wants to help his Mina here more than fighting the Abrams, although it might be both things at once. That's unfortunate timing. He's gonna insta-pop ult, yep. And that's what most Infernuses will do when they get Lash ulted, because Lash is gonna come in for the Death Slam damage, and then you can just chase them down and get that ult off. Looks like he's just trying to get that burn damage up, and Mina may be able to finish those kills, but she's fighting Abrams right now. Like I said, he's gonna burn him, Mina's gonna finish him. We're probably gonna see that combo a lot throughout the game. Chasing here. He has reactive barrier, so okay, I mean, Abrams just gave up, I guess. But he has reactive barrier, so when he's getting stunned by like Lash ult and whatnot, he's getting these barriers that's allowing him to maintain his aggressive positioning with his ult. So very well done by him. Good itemization to be able to play more aggressively. He's also got Spirit Resilience, so that is a full tier 4 item worth of defensive and utility items, not building into his damage, even as a damage hero. So Spirit Resilience and Warp Stone, not to mention the barrier that he's using. Lash might die. He's got superior duration on those burns. Oh, looks like Lash lived. Okay, no, Mina did finish him. He's looking to help his Mina. He doesn't have ult, but he still has dash in his one. We'll see how he plays this.
Gotta be careful out here.
If I'm him, I'm not fighting much longer. I don't want to donate my bag. I'm getting more farm. We got a bunch of kills and got the walker on this push, so it's best to just reset, make sure we're clearing waves. Don't lose any of our walkers, because we did lose blue. And then we can continue scaling into this game with our Mina and our Wraith. Playing off those Dynamo ults in the late game. Looks like he's going to start building into some lifesteal, probably some more damage, since his last, I want to say, 4,800 souls roughly. We're going into defensives with the reactive barrier and spirit resilience, so he's probably looking to go for some more power spikes after getting some farm.
Let's go yellow.
He hears them on him. We'll see how he's able to get out of this. We have... Yeah, okay, so Warpstone into the dash. That's actually tech. This is not something that I knew you could do. I'm not an Infernus player, so this is not something that I was aware was a thing. So I want to watch this again. This is absolute tech from Pars that we're learning here. He uses Warpstone after dash, I believe. So let's see order of operations here. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. Dash into flame dash. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken here, this is actually giving us the opportunity to leave a longer trail behind us. So not only is he insta-burning everybody with dash and getting further away with the one usage of the ability, but I believe even though he used Warpstone since the ability was active, we're going to have a flame behind us right now. Yeah, so if we look at everybody else right now, we've got flame dash underneath us. We're getting flame dashed right now. Let's see, who else? Yeah, so the Warpstone did create a flame path underneath him. That is absolute tech from Parzelian here to be utilizing Warpstone to get 11 more meters out of his dash so he can get further away and he can get more burn trail. So people will be burning more if they're chasing him. Because instead of starting on the tier 1, he's basically starting his dash right here and burning the, 3 people that are around him. This is incredible tech. And Lash chasing him. I think we have a health bug. This should not be his health bar, right? Like, here we go. Let's watch, there we go. Out of 2,900. So that is the amount of health he had. But his regen was wrong and his overall health pool was wrong. That is a crazy hyper line there. So he goes for a zip line. That's crazy work. He's just hiding from Lash. He doesn't want to die here because he wants to be able to use his ult with a team fight rather than having his team wait 50 seconds before they can use his ult. As well as, if we lose this fight or lose another person, this is a potential mid-boss for them because they already have Mina down. But with him and Dynamo having ults, it's a much riskier mid-boss for them. So he even gets counterspell for the Lash ult. That's probably in anticipation of any future team fights, but in particular contesting mid-boss, so he can counterspell the Lash ult, maintain his ult in the middle of the room to contest mid-boss. So very strong pick. Counterspell can work in almost any game against almost any team comp with any character. Looks like they're going to go for the mid-boss play since they're the ones with the 2 kills, and one of the people that's down is Lash, meaning they now have the stronger mid-fight. The best they have is Abrams and Silver with Celeste damage. Celeste doesn't have ult, but just her damage in the pit with Light Eater. So they're feeling much more confident about this mid-fight than the enemy team. I would have liked to see more of them come in sooner. I feel like it was a little bit delayed on following up with Cars. He is going to ult here to defend. We're going to get Dynamo to confirm it as well. Another dash warp stone, so I'm really loving this tech from Cars. That is crazy. So not only do we get 3 rejuves, but we also get the 2 people that contest mid-boss. So really ballsy mid-boss contest from the enemy team. Not really sure what they were thinking there. If it's me on the enemy team, I'm saying we, play in base behind base guardians and shrines to try and wait out these rejuves or get them with the help of our base, because they did not. Even Abrams ult was probably their best chance at contesting that. They didn't have Ivy Gargoyle, they didn't have Lash ult. And he wasn't even there, so very, very wild contest from them. I actually expect better out of high Eternus players like this, but even Eternus players make mistakes. They made a bad call, and it's going to cost them dearly, because now we get free farm on their side of the map. We're not scared of their side of the map at all, because we have rejuves. We're going to scale a little bit higher. We got souls from the mid-boss kill. Yeah. Very interesting. Always look at a wave after you've done some box route or camp. Always want to shove wave. Pars knows this. Pars knows that the #1 objective in Deadlock is a wave. Unfortunately, this game is more like Dota than it is like Overwatch, so we do want to make sure that we're shoving waves constantly and then farming in between, not the other way around. It's a low elo mistake to be farming and catching waves in between and having your priorities a little bit off there. Pars knows what's most important. He wants to keep their walker healthy, slot lock the enemy team, and it's the quickest way to get farm is not through camps and boxes, but through catching every single wave and doing the other farming in between. Even before fighting, he's grabbing the wave. He knows how many souls that's worth. Doesn't really care about this list, to be honest. It looks like she's just either trolling or she is legitimately trying to shove that wave. What do they call it? You guys will have to remind me, either in chat if you're here or in the comments. Somebody's like shoving the wave ahead of the other, right? So you like push past the wave to stop other waves from coming forward, if you know what I mean. I can't remember what you call that. It's escaping me right now. Huge power spike here on the Ricochet buy, so Pars is looking to fight. He also has counterspell, so he's not afraid to go in and fight them. Mina's ready to fight too, that's why she's ulting with her Infernus. Trying to get as much value as possible out of these rejuves, since we only have about 45 seconds left, if I'm not mistaken, on those rejuves. Roughly, not an exact time.
Ready to use refresher.
Now that all our waves are healthy and we've got our power spikes, everybody's gotten their most recent buy, we're looking to fight with these rejuves. They're pushing every single lane, splitting up their pressure. They don't want to deal with the Lash ult as a group if they can avoid it, so they're just trying to split up the enemy team's defenses a little bit. Take advantage of the fact that they have rejuves even if they got outnumbered on one side. Their Abrams is absolutely trolling on the right side of the map. I have no idea what he's doing, but maybe they broke their mental. So, probably wondering why Pars didn't dash earlier. If you didn't notice, he was silenced by her shield. So after they broke her shield, he was silenced. If it were me, and I imagine even him in a situation like this, he would have been going a lot sooner. Oh, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, he does pop ult a little bit late there. No more rejuves because we ran out of time. So unfortunately, we were a little bit too aggressive for too long. Popped ult a little bit late, didn't get it off. Pars would admit that was a mistake. We'll go ahead and see what the enemy team makes of this.
No one is stopping me
They
from
did
getting
just
what I
wipe us in their
want.
base, and we didn't even down Patron, which is a really big deal for them actually, that Patron hasn't been down. Mina is going to deny this urn more than likely. It is their urn, so not only is it their easiest way to get back into this game, since retake urn when mid boss isn't available or unkillable, like too early in the game, etc. Retake urn is your #1 priority in terms of map objectives. So Mina knows that, and Mina knows that there's nothing else that she can do on the map. There's nothing more important than this, so she's going to go ahead and heads up play, knows her team is dead, knows that they're going to be looking for something across the map, and go ahead and deny this from the enemy team. Viscus somehow gets a kill on their spawn. I guess he's just a Chad. He ults to try and get out. We'll see if Gooball can get out. Mina's going to maybe go help him since she has ult, but now that he's dead, I wonder if she's going to change her mind. Because I would not go in here. Mina would be trolling if she went in, and she does make the right play. We definitely don't want to see her going in there. Gonna steal a little bit of farm maybe. Apollo picks up the urn and continues to deny it. Very well played. That was a mighty aggressive, Mina, for you to try and punch the sinners, even though you know that Abrams is right there. So big misplay even from an Eternus Mina there. Definitely aggressive to be stealing the farm, the sinners in particular on their side of the map, but Abrams did outplay her in a way, you know, with the shoulder charge away and then the parry on her trying to get around him to the sinners. Although, to be fair, she misplayed pretty heavily there. I wouldn't be stealing farm on their side of the map, because now we have to wait 55 seconds before we have another teammate, and unfortunately Dynamo also gets caught out.
How it's done.
We're in a really bad team fight. We'll go back to watching Pars here. We're going to want to defend that walker on the right side. Apollo realized it and is going to catch wave. Pars also realized it. It's going to help his Apollo. Looks like they're not shoving anymore, so he's just going to fight in the jungle. He has his ult in 7, so they will be able to contest mid-boss if they have to. If I'm Pars, I'm probably calling to contest mid-boss here because I'm confident enough that our soul lead on the enemy team and the fact that we're just better than the enemy team is going to allow us to contest. Since I have counterspell, I have my ult, but unfortunately it looks like they drop mid-boss to just
Oh, you're all about to enter Lash's world.
To be fair, I wouldn't have been contesting that early. Pars contested a little bit earlier than I would have liked to see. We'll go ahead and watch a character that's alive. Actually, we'll watch Viscus, who's around mid-boss, taking a look at things. I wonder if he's going to try and contest. Wow, huge damage from the Spirit Viscus. This, by the way, is the complete build for Viscus, is the Spirit Viscus build. If you're good at Viscus, this is how you build him. You build him for the splatter and the ult damage. You do not build him punch. Punch is too easy to counter at high elo. You do get a ton of value out of it in lower elo, so that's why you'll see most people playing punch, because lower rated players don't know how to parry it, don't know how to play against it, but there's almost no counterplay to ult and splatter Viscus, so the Spirit Viscus has very little counterplay because you're just constantly taking damage to these Viscus bounces, and then the ult when he gets Phantom Strike and Warp Stone and things like that is just an insane amount of damage. He's probably going to get that splatter Echo Shard, so he can use it twice if I'm him. That's what I'm doing. We'll go back to watching Pars though. Pars is here with his team. He has ult. He has everything actually. Bridge buff's up just now. Don't know if he's going to care to grab it though, since we're wanting to guarantee that we get mid-boss.
It's my time.
very patient here from Pars. So this is a high-rated player play. Many low-rated players get this wrong. So what does he do? He goes in. What do most players do? They parry on the crystal. What does Pars do? Recognize that there's only one person and that he can wait for her melee to parry. So he goes in. His teammates have parried. She's now parrying. He pops ult so that they can guarantee punches if she doesn't try to punch. So when she's stunned, I mean. So they're going to wait to punch. But she does go for a heavy melee here. He parries her. Actually, I think that was a light melee, which is even crazier. But very, very patient from Pars, very high level play to go into pit and not just insta-parry, although most people do get a lot of value out of that because in low-rated games, they just go in the middle and start punching. But Pars is very patient, is waiting for a punch to parry instead of just burning his parry and getting absolutely no value out of it. Something as simple as a mechanic you get from the first second of the game. He doesn't have to buy it, he just has to play it patiently. Very well done.
We delivered the urn. They can't hide forever.
There's almost no way we don't drop the patron here. We may even be able to end if we get a couple of kills that are staggered. If they let us get some staggered kills, what I mean by that is we get a kill, maybe within 10 to 15 seconds we get another kill. That way they're never all alive at the same time. Every time one person reses, it's not like, you know, another one will be up within a few seconds. It's like, you know, 15, 20 seconds apart. When they stagger deaths like that while you're downing patron, it's very, very easy to close out the game because you're constantly in a 6v5, 6v4. Even when one person comes up, another person has gone down because they've been fighting with numbers advantage, and they're going to have to wait a whole 20 seconds to have equal numbers or longer, depending on how many deaths they stagger. So we'll see if they can do this. They'll most likely be trying to get some kills as they down patron, get those stagger kills so they can end with this one rejuve and not have to wait for another one. Does so much damage to that Vindictor. She just dies to burn. We'll see if he can survive here. Lash is waiting for more players to be able to ult. He is going to maybe get the rejuve here right now. So Lash gets the rejuve here. Pars is now chasing them now that he's full HP. He doesn't have ult, but he can get a lot of damage out of that passive just by hitting the autos and igniting people, especially with Ricochet. It's gonna go ahead and down it. We'll see if they get a staggered kill. So this would be a staggered kill if they get one more, since then he's up in 20 seconds. You know, they'd have to wait a while for the next one to be up. There's the first stagger. Probably looking to end here now that they're 6v4, and maybe even get another stagger kill before Vindicta's up or right after Vindicta's up because they have numbers advantage. This is why it's very dangerous to stagger kills. Or deaths, rather. Dynamo does get a big ol' in pit. Pars here just playing for damage. I think he's really stat padding. He could have been in the pit doing damage here. Very nice parry on the Lash. Huge awareness and reaction time. It is always easiest to react to something you're anticipating, so he's aware of who's alive and what they can do to him. Very, very strong here. He does parry the Lash ult out of habit, but his counter spell's on cooldown, so he doesn't actually get any value out of that. He's just looking for kills, stat padding, entertaining his chat. He wasn't playing this optimally necessarily. He was very confident in his team's 40k soul lead to just win the game with the rejuves there, but very, very well done by Pars here. Hopefully you learned a thing or two while watching this analysis. Hopefully I was able to point some things out that maybe you hadn't thought of, or it was just helpful to not only watch a professional player play the game, but to get an analysis from a high-rated player such as myself to kind of break it down, give you my thoughts on what I think he's thinking, why he's making decisions he's making. But yeah, there's Pars on his alt account, I believe. That, or he just changed his name to Burley for who knows why. But yeah, that's a great game for him in Eternus 6 and one of the top players in North America right now. Let's go ahead and... Sorry, we're going to get into our second Pro VOD review of the day. This is Vegas. So Vegas, we're actually going to be watching a game where Vegas and Deathy are on the same team, but we are going to be watching from Vegas' point of view. This is going to be a Graves VOD review from an Eterna 6 professional player, Vegas. Very, very good player. We're going to go ahead and hop into this game, see how he plays the laning phase. Graves is fairly weak at the very beginning of the game, so we're going to see how he compensates for that, whether he's aggressive or passive. But within a couple of items, he actually turns into quite a powerhouse. Here we are. He's actually laning with Deathy, so we actually get two pros in the same lane. We'll see what him and Deathy are able to cook up here, but Eternus, Graves, Vegas. Positioned fairly aggressively here, probably because Mo and Krill is in the same position as Graves, where mostly weak until they get some items online. Like once Mo and Krill gets that QSR on his one, on his scorn, or you know, something like that, his damage isn't massive. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the wrong team. I'm so sorry. Mo and Krill and Infernus. He's up against Ivy and Viper, which makes even more sense as to why he's aggressive. Ivy does nothing in lane. Viper's their only worry. Lash is massive in lane, so they are going to want to be positioned aggressively for this. I do apologize for the misread there. Big fat move over here during the bot review. Yep, it's just going to apply any pressure you can while he's clearing the wave. That way they can shove up with the wave. Whether they do that or not is irrelevant, but what you want to do is clear the wave, because minions do a lot of damage. When they have to clear the minions with no minions in front of them, they're taking damage from you and minions, you get double value. So whoever clears the wave quickest can do more poke after. If you're poking them and they're clearing your wave, you're going to end up taking a lot of damage to wave later, which will most likely negate probably 40 to 50% of the damage that you were doing to them while they were clearing the wave. So make sure you're clearing the wave first. You'll see that they're constantly shoving this wave, mainly because Ivy sucks in lane, so they definitely have an advantage there. They're positioning for their minis that are up in 5 seconds. We'll see if they're able to steal the minis. Looks like they're backing off of it. Deathy going to fight it. Vegas coming in. Yeah, they're trying to steal those minis. They were a little bit late. I would have preferred to see them stay aggressive on the minis to get them right as they came up. They did back up there. May have been an oversight. I don't see how it could have possibly been intentional. Enemy team got first blood. That's unfortunate.
I can't help anyone if I'm dead.
Sorry, I feel like my mouse is just out in the middle of the screen here.
Have fun. Don't get dead.
So Deathy's off doing a box route. Vegas is kind of playing this slow.
Time for the dead to help me out for a change.
Starting to get into a point where Vegas is going to be a little bit more of a lane bully now. Now that we have his 2, we're getting a little bit more of our items. You know, Restorative Shot is incredibly high value on Graves because you'll never miss the shot. It's just whether you're hitting it on a hero or a minion that's the question really, and getting, you know, the full value or that delayed, or sorry, reduced value. He is going for the 3.5 minute steal of the minis. They respawn at 3.5 minutes if you get them right at 2 minutes every 90 seconds, and they're aware of that timer. Huge on him. But Restorative Shot allows him to apply a lot of pressure because he's constantly getting those little heals, not to mention the heal minion. His monster rounds are allowing him to clear the wave for the reasons I said before. We're going to get a lot of that pressure from the minions, both on their tower and on them. They're just playing so far back because of the pressure that we're creating. Really tough lane matchup for them. Ivy and Viper into Lash and Graves.
Swing by anytime.
So if you notice here, Graves has taken 200 damage to the minions. Now, he luckily gets to heal it back, but He took 200 damage to minions. If they were also poking him, they could have easily doubled that damage just because they cleared the wave and he was forced into focus on. Shows you how valuable it can be to clear the wave first. We did shove the 4.5 minute wave so that we can make it to bridge buffs. Always shove the 4.5 minute wave in laning. Everything you're thinking of in 30-second increments. What's going to happen in the next 30 seconds as waves come out every 30
I see
seconds.
the drifter.
He's going to give the casting buff to Deathy since his spirit damage is way better early game. Although I don't know how he's going to be playing Graves. Most good Graves players will play her spirit. But he's just not going to get near as much value as a Lash out of the casting buff. So they definitely calmed that. Deathy should get that. Very nice wall here. So good wall snipe that we see. Even Deathy goes in with a flog to add some more damage onto it. They're now both very low. They're going to play aggressive, parry the tower, make sure they can run after him. Ooh, Ivy makes a bad turn there, unfortunately. Had he kept going, he may have been able to outrange Vegas. That is the problem with Vegas's gun. Graves just does not have a long range, so very, very unlucky for the Ivy. Got outplayed. Made a misplay, actually. He just went a direction he shouldn't have gone. They're going to take ults. Graves is a huge lane shover like McGinnis with their ult. And it looks... Oh my gosh, the skulls didn't keep targeting. Okay, well, Deathy is able to get that kill, but very sad that his skulls weren't targeting the Ivy very close. Viper's under a lot of pressure, so they can just steal farm. Yep, I was about to say, they can just steal this tier 2 up top, maybe even the boxes around here. I probably would have calmed Ivy's missing since we are at the time where we have boost, so he can boost back into lane at 6 minutes. Ivy is here, but I would have calmed that he was missing if he can boost somewhere else, just so my team knows it. Maybe he did, we can't hear comms here unfortunately, so we'll see.
I hope we find someone walking alone. Going in.
Doesn't want to sit on too many souls. I imagine he's saving for a 3200 item, and that's why we're clearing this camp prior to buying. He is sitting on a fat stack, so he is going to have a massive power spike here in a second. Now we've hit that 3200, we'll see what he buys. Probably, if I had to guess, it's something like Tesla or Toxic Bolts. He's still not gonna buy. Vegas is a psycho. I would have bought here. He doesn't want to miss the wave, which is understandable. Wave is your #1 priority in terms of farm. So, you know, he maybe wanted to shove that before he buys, but he is sitting on a lot of souls. Maybe he's going to throw his ult up there to make it unhittable, to shove the lane. This is a very good Graves ult position. Makes it very hard for them to get, and it just allows zombies to start shoving the wave for you. He's going to steal the Sinners because he has such a big soul lead. If they can test him here, it's in his favor. Really nice from him. Would love to see him go buy instead of sit on so many souls, but if we had like Toxic Bullets right here, Viper takes so much more damage. Looks like they'll get him anyway. Really well played since Ivy isn't here. You know, Ivy is coming back in. They can't see him on the map right now, but they did catch him in a 2v1, so they were able to get a cheeky kill there. Good communication playing together. They're playing right on top of each other. You know, they would be communicating really well here. It's just what we do as Eternus players. They're, you know, communicating every part of that so that they can coordinate best and make sure that Viper doesn't get away. Okay, I have to go back. This might be Graves' tech. Let me take a look here. He throws skulls here. Hold up, we're gonna go back further. We're gonna go back further. He throws skulls. Do they start farming the camp for him while he gets Sinners? They are getting the camp for him while he's getting sinners. So Vegas is an absolute genius here. This is tech. So Graves can throw skulls and they target the nearest enemy. This apparently works with camps. So Vegas here playing Graves throws his skulls at the camp nearest him so he can just get the sinners, and the skulls are weakening the camp for him, making it quicker to farm that camp. He gets tempo on the enemy team, maintains this fast pace since he has such a high lead in his lane, so that he can continue to shove that walker. As you see, they're already damaging walker here in this lane, and he's maximizing his ability to farm efficiently. This is absolutely incredible tech from Vegas here on Graves. Skulls on minions nearby while doing a sinners, or maybe even while doing another camp. They'll farm it for you. That is incredible. I imagine it has to be sinners or something else, because usually the skulls will follow your gun. So I think it's the fact that he wasn't shooting anything else, that the skulls are just targeting the nearest enemy, which happens to be the camp. This is incredible tech here. Love this from Vegas. And not even huge. Look, they barely hit this one tier 2, but just to get that little efficiency over the course of a game, I mean, wow. Why not use it? It's free. Not doing that means you're missing out on tempo and timing and pressure. So that is really nice tech. Love to see that. We're also here in time for the wave, so we don't miss out on too much farm for wave. We're sitting on a full tier 4. I wonder what he's gonna buy here. He bought Echo Shard. Alright, so this is an interesting play from Vegas. That is a massive power spike. I much prefer seeing Tesla bullets or toxic, or even both in some cases on Graves, to help with farming, make it even more efficient, keep scaling up since you're a late game kind of spirit hero. Very ballsy for him to drop the ult right there, but wow, does he get value because of the gargoyle allowing those to get on top of him. Now, Geist has ult, he knows this, he can't really fight her, she's just going to, you know, swap him if he gets her low first. Now, Drifter being here is a big problem. He's probably coming to his team that there's 3 over here. We have pressure over in this lane, I believe. Yeah, so we just got the kills here. We have pressure over it in, well, what is their left lane. Looks like they're going to be doing Earn. So Vegas, sorry, is going to be able to keep pushing this lane because they're doing Earn. That's going to draw attention away from his lane. He is going to be able to shove this walker. He may even be able to get this walker. If I'm him, I'm calming that I'm pushing walker, I'm not helping with Earn, and then I'm just shoving as hard as I can, trying to trade a walker for Earn, or if my team can get Earn as well, it's like icing on the cake, but...
Come back if you need anything else.
Okay. So,
Combos on cooldown.
bridge buff has been sitting there for a minute, or my clock is bugged. Not really sure which. That is crazy. It has been a long time since I've seen a lobby above maybe even Phantom where a bridge buff has been sitting there for a whole minute, but wow, yeah. I mean, he does get the gun buff, which is, you know, it's nice. He's not built gun in any way, shape, or form, but it is going to help him with farming.
I've learned.
And Graves gun is pretty bad. Usually people who are running Graves gun are either having fun because they're not trying to play optimally, they're just kind of doing their thing, or they don't know any better. Looks like we get a kill on Silver. Geist is stopping us from shoving this walker. That is unfortunate, but we are getting timing on camp coming back up, so he is able to keep stealing their farm. Stealing their farm is always double value. I've talked about this before, but I do like to repeat myself in case it's your first time seeing my content. Farm on their side of the map is worth twice the value because you're stealing it from them and getting it for yourself. So always, if you can, if you have tempo, if you have pressure, if it's, you know, not absolutely throwing, prioritize their farm over yours since it is worth twice as much. Gonna try and get back for this wave since it is close. It's actually gonna be 2 waves, it looks like, that he's gonna be able to grab here. Prioritizing waves first and then farming in between. Very well done from Vegas here. Bear sitting on a 3200 power spike. Wonder if he's going to get a tier 3. I would. Yep, there's the Toxic Bolts buy. I would have liked to see that earlier from him, especially given how much healing they have with Silver, Ivy, and Geist in particular, not to mention any lifesteal that the others are going to get. Like Seven's always going to have some sort of lifesteal regardless of the abilities using, as well as Drifter and Viper, but those other three are just built for healing in a lot of ways, so would have loved to see it sooner, but he, you know, had the farm, wanted the Echo Shard, and, you know, props to him for throwing that sooner.
I will strike them down.
Ult's back up, we're gonna start using that to get lane pressure. I hope he pushes with it. One thing I don't like seeing, yeah, it looks like he is. One thing I don't like seeing from Graves players is throwing down an ult and then walking away. Your zombies give them souls, so you're just giving them like 50% more value out of the wave if you're not pushing with the zombies. Very rarely are those zombies just gonna like get kills or get a significant amount of damage without... Oh, that's unfortunate. Sorry, back to the ults conversation while Vegas gets, you know, ulted here by Drifter and whatnot. It's giving the other team too much value out of your zombies because the damage from the zombies is significant in the middle of a fight, in a team fight, in an enclosed space, you know, things like that, or using the tombstone in specific situations like to avoid a hazel, since the tombstone is line of sight, so you can literally just dance around your own tombstone and not take any damage. It's a free metal skin, if you will, during your ult. But using it to just shove a lane, if somebody's paying attention to that, they're just getting extra souls. So they're getting your Rave souls and they're getting your zombie souls. And even if they take damage, it's really not worth it because they can just base and come back, and then your ult was useless. It's on cooldown. They got extra souls. So I do like to see him pushing with the ult there. He dropped it and then shoved with it to try and get that Geist and whatnot. But I believe she used ult or had ult. He is keeping that Toxic Bullets up, trying to get as much damage with his skulls as possible. That is his main source of damage. His ult is one. So we do like to see him using those skulls. He's got team helping here. Moancurl ulted the Drifter last fight, I believe, and I think he meant to or should have ulted the Geist to stop her from ulting. So I think that was a misplay, but... very nice try. Yeah, unfortunately Drifter does outplay us there, even with the soul.
No one's getting in our
you know,
way.
he had the soul lead as Graves, Vegas did, but that was very well done by the Drifter to outplay us there. Let's kind of go forward and get back to when we're playing the video game. His team's fighting a 2v2. He's going to try and help win this fight in their version of right lane, even though the map says otherwise, because winning this means they get Walker, and they can contest Urn, which is headed their way. Geist recognizes this and even dropped Urn in blue, if you can see that. Her team lost the fight. She doesn't want to deliver the Urn to the enemy team, so she drops it there. Heads up play from her. We get Walker here for free. There's almost no way we don't get this Walker. We have to trade since we just lost our left lane's Walker. Deadlock is built out of trades. The whole game is just a series of different trades throughout the different stages of the game. Late game, a lot of the times Walkers are trades. You can't always defend a Walker, so you gotta trade it. Unfortunately, it looks like we lose 2 Walkers in that push, so they definitely got the advantage there, pushing 2 Walkers, and all we did was trade 1. I would like to see us maybe get like an Urn or something to compensate, but we are just getting some kills. If we can get another kill here, we can potentially go for mid-boss since they have very little contest. Actually, no, we don't have enough people alive. I take that back. Little too early in the game probably for a mid-boss. They are calling for it. I would like Moancurl to be alive for this, but since they got the 3rd kill... Yeah, we just lost Calico too. I don't know about this mid-boss call, but... we do see this a lot in Internus, is heavy commits to mid-boss calls very early in the game. Some lower ranked players are probably looking at this like it's psycho. It is a ballsy call. I will give them that. But... 2 of their teammates are in base still. They're just now coming. What a parry from Vegas. Oh my goodness. So This is parry tech that everybody should know. I want to rewatch it because it's that good. You cannot parry while dashing. So if I actually, well, I wish I could show you, if I could exit the replay and just show you my player in the hideout, but then we'd have to come back in here, I think. Well, anyway, I'll show you in a minute, maybe, if I remember. But basically, you cannot parry while dashing on the ground. You have to jump first. If you jump and then dash and you're in the air, you can parry while moving that way. Vegas sees them coming in, and he's not going to be able to dash, wait for the timing for him to be able to parry, and then parry mid. He has to jump. So we'll watch this in half speed so we can see this tech. So we don't know anybody's contesting until we see this. So we see guys throw orb, and she comes through Veil. He now knows we have a contest. He is not going to make it here in time. Because that's crystal dropping. I mean, it's bugged, so we don't see it. But that's crystal dropping. If he dashes in, he can't parry for a certain amount of time. It's like half a second or something. And that's going to be too long. So what does he do? Jump, dash, parry in the air. Catches the Geist. Absolutely gorgeous from Vegas here. This is beautiful gameplay that we're seeing. He's utilizing tech that we need to be utilizing in every single one of our games. Jump, dash, parry. Don't dash and then parry. You will catch more people because in higher ranks, they know you can't parry while you're dashing, so they will try and light melee you outside of even a mid-boss while you're dashing because they know it's free damage. If you jump, dash, parry, you get a lot more people parried. This is excellent heads-up gameplay. He saw the contest, he saw the Infernus ult going through, and he decided to do the parry tech through the air to secure mid-boss for free, and they get the Geist for it because she's stunned. Very well done.
What, you think you hate me now? Just wait until I
Very high level play here to go for mid-boss at 17.5 minutes, 18 minutes. People get, even in Phantom or Ascendant, they hesitate on those types of calls. You heard me even hesitating there as an Eternus player because our Mo wasn't alive when we initiated the fight and we only had a 1 minute damage with Calico dying. But we did have a couple of kills, and so they felt confident in their ability to fight mid, especially with Graves being so strong in mid. Unfortunately, we do give up a rejuve here because we're like 1v4. Mo's not even gonna help here because he knows it's suicide. So if you go back and watch this on the minimap, this is also a high level play from Mo. Mo is in the fight to help on the rejuve because a lot of times you don't want to give up a rejuve for free. You want to make sure you're collapsing while they're rezzing because their whole team is thinking, hey, let's kill Graves for free. If you have enough people rotating over, you turn this into an advantageous team fight. Mo and Krill realizes this is not an advantageous team fight. It's suicide. We are 2v4 and we just lost one of our rejuves. So what does he do? Instead of playing with his teammate and trying to help her, he cuts their losses. As an Eternus player, he recognizes we need to cut our losses and he leaves. Deathy even starts to move over to help Mo and Krill get out. Look. He comes over. And maybe he's getting a camp right now. But then he leaves. He makes sure that Mo and Krill gets out. We cut our losses there. Let's go to when we're playing the video game again. So they're trying to do an Urn, they're trying to stay in this game because Urn is going to level the playing field or even give them the advantage if they're able to depot, but because we're fighting it so well with Lash ult threat here, they know Deathy's there, they're gonna back up and just deny the Urn since we still have 1 rejuve left. Unfortunately, this mid-boss has gone a lot in their favor. They were able to get 2 rejuves out of us, and I don't think we've gotten any objectives. They still have their 1 walker up, and we weren't able to get Urn. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to make anything out of this. Wraith is getting punished in the jungle. No rejuve on her, so that's just a death. Mo and Krill again cutting losses, realized that he wasn't able to save her, doesn't want to die as well. He's playing that very well, not falling for the trap of, I have to help my teammate even though they're making a bad play. That is not how we play Deadlock, unfortunately. There's a lot of games where you do play that way and players refuse to play that way. those players would do well in deadlock because we have to cut our losses and play smart. You have to know it's a bad play though. I want to emphasize this. I'll actually just pause this really quick while I cover this. I do want to emphasize he knows that it's a bad play in an unwinnable fight. Mo and Krill has done that enough. He's gone in and saved enough teammates or tried to and failed that he's learned through hours of repetition that that was a bad fight. Simply not helping your teammates is unacceptable. Knowing that it's a bad fight, that it's disadvantageous, and that you have absolutely no chance of winning it and still going in, that is also unacceptable. So we have to learn, and I actually suggest you do the opposite. So I suggest you go in and help your teammates to learn when it is winnable and when it isn't. And through repetition of making those bad calls, you're going to learn, like this Mo and Krill does, that I know I can't help Graves here, so I'm leaving. I know I can't help Wraith here, so I'm leaving. I'm going to cut our losses. So knowing that it's a bad fight and retreating is what makes that a high-level play. Simply leaving your teammates out, like, hang out to dry is not always the play. You have to know that it's bad, so learn that. You know, put in the hours and the making the bad calls, even if it ends up being a bad call, to try and help a teammate and fail is better than leaving them to, you know, leaving them on their own. But the Mo and Krill has enough experience in high-level Eternus. He understands where to cut his losses, where he can and can't make an impact. So I just wanted to emphasize that here. Drops Graves' ultimate on the Urn Depot to make sure that it's as easy as possible for his team to secure these souls and maintain a lead. Because the lead was, that gap was narrowed significantly. We're looking to trade walkers here, hopefully kill the Geist before she gets ult off, but we didn't have enough damage, so we are going to have to deal with that. She will die, but the fact that she was able to ult first is really unfortunate. We're trading walkers since they just got our right side walker, we get the left side walker. Again, deadlock is a game of trades. We recognize they're pushing here. We have to get this objective with our numbers advantage. We can't wuss out and try and go back and defend the walker and not have enough time. Just making equal trades means that we still have the soul lead. We got the urn and a walker. Positive trade for our team. We now have an advantage. Leaves the tier 3 buff, so we're seeing more of this Graves tech from Vegas. I absolutely love that we learned this together. I'll probably outline this in a short just for more educational content. Hopefully it reaches a wider audience. He leaves the tier 3 minion to die to toxic bullet ticks and his skulls because he knows how much damage they'll do roughly, so he knows when he can leave it and start heading towards the doubles. So let's look at how much time he just saved. So 21, 34, 35, 36, okay, 38, 39, 40. We just saved 4 seconds on a single camp using this Graves tech. Imagine how many camps has he killed this game. If we were to go back and watch, 4 seconds every single camp. If he was even doing this on 10 camps a game, that is almost a minute of time. Imagine that the game was paused for everybody but you for 40 seconds a game in the mid game. Like what you would be able to do with that kind of advantage. If everybody on your team, what if everybody on your team was making these tiny little adjustments and the game was paused only for the enemy team for 40 seconds? Imagine how many more games you would win. So we have to be implementing these tiny little things. So Vegas is teaching us we can get a 4-second head start. He left at 21:36 and at 21:40 it died. So 4 seconds we saved. Let's assume even he was hitting it with his gun longer or meleeed it. We're still over there. Let's say it even saved him 2 seconds. That's still over the course of 10 camps, 20 seconds per player on the team. So up to 6 players. We're looking at what? What's 6 times 20? 120 seconds. So what is that? 2 minutes every single game that the team has an advantage. So imagine the game is paused for, you know, the equivalent of 2 minutes for the enemy team. 20 seconds per player. Your team would just, I mean, if you're good at the game, you'd almost always win with a 2-minute advantage. That's a 2-minute head start on the enemy team. Just with these little micro adjustments on farming. So really, really love this tech from Vegas. Let's not comment on the fact that it took me a minute to figure out what 6 times 20 was and that
Ready to use
120
item.
seconds is 2 minutes. Let's just kind of breeze past that and remember that I'm Eternus. Okay? Thanks.
Almost ready to grab them.
Skulls.
We live in interesting times, don't we?
Heroic Aura is massive. For those who don't know how Heroic works on Graves, it does affect the speed of both her zombies' movements, so getting to targets quicker, but the biggest reason is the skulls. They will attack faster, like up to 50% faster or even more. So with the Echo Shard on the skulls, he can get 2 sets of skulls out on one target, Heroic Aura them, and then they'll be attacking really, really fast. Gets a lot of spirit damage. See, he used Heroic Aura on them, and then just left so they can farm a tier 1 for him, and he's already moving across the map. And this is Wraith that was behind him on the tier 1. That's where we would have been. Just a difference in being here. He is going to put in a hard-to-kill ult up. Very good from Vegas to be looking at these rooftops. There's a lot of different rooftops. Like, I wish you would look up, but there's one up above us here. Not this little building that heads down into mid-boss, but the next one. On top of that, you'll usually be struck by the little lightning rods up there. You'll get zapped if you stay up there for too long. But if you go up there just long enough to place an ult down, makes it very difficult for the enemy team to kill. So there's places like that all over the map for Graves ults that allows you to get a lot more value out of it. So for Graves players, there's a YouTuber that plays Graves. He's like a one trick in like High Oracle, maybe he's Phantom, can't remember, but he's very good at Graves. I actually highly suggest you look at his content. I believe he's the Top Gooms YouTube. You know, you may find him anyway. He has a lot of different content around Graves, in particular different spots where you can place her ultimate that are hard to hit. It is very, very useful for Graves players to learn that, because especially if you're in the lower ranks, they're going to have a very difficult time breaking them or even knowing where they are on the map. And it's almost absolutely necessary on the higher ranks because it requires them to have to go out of their way to break it, even though they know where it is and they can break it. But, you know, just setting it on the ground as a high-rated player is, unless you're doing it for a specific reason, like a Hazel, like I said before, it's almost unacceptable. We have to be optimizing our play a little bit more. So Vegas very smart at placing this in hard-to-reach areas. We do have a 9k soul lead. We're probably looking to get a pick anywhere we can. Unfortunately, they are grouped on this, right side of the map here, but I would be looking for a pick. There's not a whole lot of farm to get on the map, and not a lot of objectives. Here comes the pick we're talking about. Unfortunately, he's unable to chase because he's alone. He recognizes that he's got some people behind him. I don't think he realizes how many people he has behind him because he is getting, Drifter ulted and whatnot. Got the ults, they get the Viper, Mo and Krill ults. We have now started a team fight that is in our advantage. Silver almost dies, goes into Wolf, is still going to die to our Infernus more than likely. Geist is low, she does get the ult up. Again, another time where we just didn't quite have the damage for it, but look at this. We started a team fight that we're able to win because we had, Graves getting some damage on Ivy, creating some space for Deathy to come in and get an ult. And then Mo and Krill gets the ult. Surprised we didn't commit an Infernus ult there, but mid-boss is up in, 30 seconds? Yeah, so mid-boss is up very, very soon. Ivy will still be dead by the time mid-boss is up, but if I'm them, I'm getting a little bit of farm and then probably just sitting on mid-boss until it spawns and then instantly downing it. Especially considering the fact that we still have Infernus ult to contest it. He just got counterspell most likely for the Bola. By Bola, I mean Viper ult. For those who don't know, Viper ult, when fully maxed, can petrify all enemies in the area. He doesn't have this. They probably know this already. High-rated players would be paying attention to this. So he's only going to be able to Bola, a couple of targets or one target, but he can't really contest mid-boss without it being fully upgraded. So they did steal one reju, but Geist doesn't have ult, so Graves is looking to fight her, and he is able to get her reju. And then he's going to use Heroic Aura on these skulls to keep getting value. He's got Toxic Bolts ticking on her. She's not gonna have ult for way too long. Beautiful wall placement. So we definitely see this. Any sort of hallway that you're in, you try and place it on stairs or any corridor of any kind, no matter how long or short. Place the Graves wall as diagonally as possible. It's a very, very easy way to get people to be grabbed by it, and it also, when fully upgraded, will spawn one ghoul. He doesn't have that right now, but if you do go that route, it will spawn one ghoul for you, and this is the easiest way to do it. So he does that to secure the kill on Geist. Very well done by Vegas here. We actually ended up getting 3 kills, and Silver is 1 HP. He just got Ivy again as well, so Ivy just got hit by that same wall over here. So it hit 2 Eternus 6 players. So imagine what it'll do in lower rated lobbies. Always use that on stairs. Whether you're over here on these, in this corridor, that corridor, the stairs over to my right, you know, to the right of that veil, stairs of, sorry, I'm blanking, the base guardians, you know, any narrow space that you can get that wall in, switching it from being horizontal to vertical and then placing it on any kind of angle that you can. It doesn't have to be, because even if it's horizontal straight down the middle, you can get a lot of catches there, but yeah, very high value. He just got it on 2 different players, and they may be able to kill Ivy because of it. That one, yep, Ivy looks like he's gonna die. That one little delay is gonna help them get that kill. The fact that he was not moving for, how long is his duration? 1.6 seconds. It's a long time in Eternus 6.
Won't deal with you. I will.
He's going to use Heroic Core on his team. Yep, so he waited till his skulls were over there, got close to his team like his M1 Wraith, and then he gives her Heroic Core to make sure we're raising her attack speed so we can push the base as well as possible. Helps with the Urn Depot just to make sure that there's nobody here to steal it. Obviously nobody is, but he doesn't always know that. He can't see everybody on the map all the time. He's probably looking for farm for a tier 4 item. He's probably looking to sell like Restorative Shot or something this late in the game and get some sort of tier 4 like Ricochet or something that he feels he's going to get a lot of value out of.
Want to see that again?
Lets his skulls farm a tier 1 while he's farming a tier 2.
Headed to York.
The dead's wrath will be felt.
Have his skulls finish that tier 2 while he gets this tier 2. Incredible value out of this deck. Absolutely love this from Vegas, and this is why I love doing pro VOD reviews as well. I always loved it on other games I would play as well. You know, just watching a pro play the game teaches you things you never would have thought of. So yeah, he did get the upgrade on CDR for all of his abilities rather than just, you know, probably the ult is what he had it on, as well as Boundless, so that huge Spirit Spike is going to allow his skulls to do significantly more damage. So with our 40k soul lead, we're probably looking to start a fight that's going to get us in their base and win the game. We just used an Infernus ult and a Monkrill ult. We'll see who drops.
Big mistake.
Don't get too close to Geist.
Should Echo Shard skulls again. Yep, there it is. Nice kill, Vegas, and his teammates were able to clean up Ivy and Silver. 7 does have Unstop, but he used it to get away, so he won't have it for ults. That's actually important to note in the next team fight when they're sieging base and whatnot. When 7 looks to ult, he will not have Unstop as long as they do it within the next, 45 seconds or so. It's a pretty big deal. Sold monster rounds for Spirit Lifesteal. I love to see that since he's probably going to go for Leech if the game lasts long enough. Leech is very, very strong on Graves. Just lets his skulls kill the tier 2 over there for him. The superior duration allows those skulls to last a very long time, not to mention that he fully upgraded his one, so they have a +4 lifetime. Very, very well done for farming. This is my favorite way to play Graves, is the Skulls Spirit build. I think it's the best way for her to be played. She does have a very high skill floor, meaning Graves is one of the easiest heroes in the game in my opinion. However, I do believe she has a fairly high skill ceiling as well. Sniping people with the wall and placement of your walls, using the skulls properly, using your ult in every way that it can be used. I think these things are more difficult than a lot of people give Graves credit for. So, love to see Vegas playing her at such a high level. Just got a kill with a well-placed wall. What did I just say earlier? In Eternus 6 lobby, if you place it in a narrow corridor, although I would have liked to see him place it horizontally, or sorry, vertically at an angle, not horizontally. He just got a kill using there's his tomb. I would have liked him to place it vertically, either this way or this way, like an X. That would have been a little bit better, but this is very similar effect. Silver is this healthy. Actually, I want to see this from Silver's perspective. Zombie, skulls, immobilized. Look at her trying to chase Graves. A high level Graves, this is what you can do, even to a Silver. Unbelievable. Very well played by Vegas because of his placement, his ult, his skulls, and his wall placement. Even killing Eternus 6 Silvers. Basically one shot or two. That was crazy damage because of the Battle Spirit spike. Everybody just dies here. Yeah, that's gonna be patron down. It could be game, depending on how quickly they're able to down the patron. I would imagine this is game. Viper doesn't have max ult yet, so we still only have to worry about one person being petrified. With Bola, we don't have our Monocro ult, we don't have a Lash ult, we don't have an Infernus ult, but we do have a Graves ult. We have Heroic Aura on our M1 Wraith, and our Infernus. Wraith ult, and that's game. So, very well played by Vegas. We learned a lot of really cool tech. Make sure we're using those walls in the corridors like Vegas is. Make sure we're using our skulls on camps to make sure we're farming as efficiently as possible, saving time over the course of the map. Lash, so Deathy was our MVP. He was 48k most player damage. However, Graves tied him. So we're doing as much damage as, you know, the best Lash player in the world, probably, if I'm being honest. Not to mention one of the best players in North America. Deathy's like, what, top 10, top 20? Consistently top 50. And Vegas just matched him with Graves, which a lot of people think is hard to do. Very nice build order. The Echo Shard was a lot earlier than I would normally like to see it, but that's maybe a preference thing, or maybe I need to learn more about Graves, because Vegas clearly knows what he's doing. That was an incredible game to watch. Hope you learned something. Hope that that was helpful to have my analysis of the Graves gameplay from an Eternus player, an Eternus coach watching another Eternus player play Graves. So hopefully that was helpful. Alright fellas, we're gonna do one more Pro VOD review today. Probably end the stream after this one. We're going to be doing a VOD review of Chua MC, one of the best wardens in North America, at least in my opinion. Maybe not on the leaderboards, actually, but, you know, I still absolutely love watching Chua play warden, so we're going to watch him play this green build that we're using here. It's going to be interesting. Sorry, let me go ahead and bring that back up. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this. Love watching Chua MC, one of the best warden and page players, but I am excited to see how this goes. So we are laning against Drifter Dynamo. We're laning with Haze. Kind of a bummer for him to be going up against the Dynamo. Dynamo 2 does kind of counter our Binding Word because he can save a teammate from it, save himself from it. Which, for those who don't know, that's Warden's 3. So this is going to be a pretty tough matchup. I am excited to see how Chua plays it, because Chua is an incredible player. Okay. Positioning fairly aggressively on the bridge, does get punished for it by that Rend. He can't play super aggressively, not in my opinion, because of Haze being a little bit weaker against these two in the matchup as well. Dynamo Stomp reducing our fire rate, and the 2 saving him from a lot of our damage and lockdown does make it, you know, tough. Saving the bullets for the orb secure, love to see the patience from him, saving, you know, 1 or 2 bullets to ensure that he's able to secure orbs. you know, if we can't win the lane, the best we can do is not lose it. So, you know, making sure that we're not falling behind in souls by giving them secures. He's going for denies. You know, you don't have to win every lane, you just can't lose them. But the heal minion was able to get his shield off, so he didn't take too much damage, but still putting a lot of pressure on us. This is going to be a fun lane to look at and analyze because not every day do you see, you know, professional players having to play the game from behind in lane or in a tough matchup. So for those Warden players, this is going to be pretty valuable to watch. He's there at 2 minutes for the minis. He's probably going to catch the wave prior to doing any sort of box routing. Good sleep from his haze. Somehow missed that secure. Looked like it was good to me, but that's okay. Our team did get first blood, I think. Yeah, our team's 2-0, so like I said, as long as we're not throwing the game and losing lanes significantly, we're gonna be okay. He is trying to get this healing minion. You know, ideally he's sending that to his teammate. I don't know if he shared, but that's the ideal scenario, is that he's getting the heal minion for his haze, who just got absolutely bullied. Very ballsy play from the Drifter. Nice heavy melee on him around, and we get the kill. Very, very well played. So even... Oh my goodness. Okay, so much to cover here. So first off, not only does he know that Drifter is pushing his haze after the teleport audio cue, and he's looking to trade damage, because in his mind, haze is probably going to die here. Like, most D6 players who are teleporting on a haze under tower are going to go parry the tower and continue the chase. This Drifter was playing it a little bit safer and decided that he wasn't going to be able to kill haze and starts to try and back out here. We go for a heavy melee around because Drifter's on the run and being beamed by our tower. Chua MC is willing to bet that he's not going to go for a parry, gets the heavy melee, is able to bait the parry because of the last heavy melee. So he was able to heavy melee him before. Drifter now has in his mind that melees are a threat and he's very worried about them. And Warden just came into range while he's really low. What do most low rated players do in that moment? They light melee. What does Chua MC do? He expects it, waits for him to burn parry, and he could have light melee'd here because he's running out of ammo, you know, he's getting close, but he just so happens to have enough bullets that he takes advantage of the fact that the parry animation has him holding still. Where's his crosshair? Right on the head for the headshot multiplier. So perfect gameplay from Chua MC here. What does he do after this? Instantly turns his attention on the Dynamo, who is also pressuring our haze, and catches a very nice parry on the Dynamo. Him and Haze are now safe. They can push lane if they want to. They can get their minis. However, they're getting... like, Chua. Holy smokes. So they do get ganked by Abrams. We see him on the minimap. Chua noticed this before I did. I did not see Abrams on the minimap until he was about right here. So, you know, Eternus players miss things, but Chua didn't. He sees the Abrams come in, tries to get rid of his stamina, and he parries after the charge. Abrams plays like an initiate here and goes for a light melee after the charge. Like, this is not during the charge stun, this is like after. Not sure what that was. Chua MC punishes it, and his Haze, another Eternus player, is playing right on top of his teammate. He is right here. So what do? They both parry him, or melee him, make sure he dies.
Good game.
This is Eternus gameplay from the Haze. Really love seeing it from him as well. Haze playing next to his Warden, knows that he can help out even though he's low, and with teamwork they just got 3 kills, no deaths. Very huge. Chua MC has to reset, shoots the orbs in base while he's waiting for health. Make sure you get a little bit more souls. very ballsy. Love this. So he is going in with ult after parrying the tower. He's under Walker. This is overly aggressive. He's definitely getting punished for this. There's like no way.
Time to start a riot.
Yeah, I'm like pretty sure we had a bug. He should have had shields. So, okay, so there's no that's why. Okay, so shield was on cooldown. I was wondering why he didn't press it here. He does go for a panic parry. There's nothing much he can do here. Unfortunately, Drifter is invaded and he gets punished. This was overly aggressive. I would love to see him simply ult, and then if he pushes him out, to go back to hitting the tower and just getting pressure on the objective. But he wanted the dynamo kill. Again, this is a streamer, maybe doing it for content, but yeah, a little over aggressive in my opinion. He's worth a lot more souls than they are due to the comeback mechanics of this game. That is really unfortunate. He's unable to trade his teammate. Make sure he doesn't just let the Drifter crash his tower with the wave. Good ability usage on the Dynamo as well, getting that binding word so that it would hit the Dynamo after his 2, but Dynamo was able to dash out anyway. Oh, very unlucky.
Thought you guys were supposed to be hard.
Love these plays from him, you know, throwing abilities on one target and then swinging a heavy melee into the other target, so Drifter's never ready for that. Very, very strong gameplay from Chua here to be switching targets like that. He's essentially faking like he's trying to melee the Dynamo after using abilities on him, but turning it around into the Drifter to get that damage, as well as Drifter not expecting the heavy melee to come his way, so really like that. We're getting reactive barrier next. Love to see it. That's going to get a lot of value out of pretty much their entire team. I mean, we've got Abrams charge, we've got Dynamo ult, we've got Bola from the Viper, and then we've got ult from Wraith. Can't think of anything else that's going to provide any sort of CC, but that's still a pretty hefty list. Notices his team is struggling and getting shoved under a Guardian here. Decides to rotate over since Vinny is in his lane. Probably was coordinated to some extent, and Abrams unable to get out of the cage, so that's a free kill, which is interesting. Oh my goodness, we are struggling. Nice, okay, we do get the kill. Not sure how some of his punches didn't hit earlier. Hayes has got the Guardian already and is working to push the Walker, so this fight, he just wants to make it last as long as possible. If he can win it, perfect, but perfect pair there. Love to see it. Wardens do forget you're not just a M1 bot inside your ult. You do have other things that you can do. I get this value all the time against Wardens. I would not get it against Chua. I punch Wardens all the time. Make sure you're still ready to hit that parry key. He just got a free kill on Abrams because Abrams thought the same thing I did. Maybe I can get some heavy melee damage on an ulting Warden, my mistake. And Chua's ready for that, so what does he do? He parries, gets free damage, and then he's able to get a double kill there because Dynamo comes in for a late ult. Because Dynamo can't actually ult and get a lot of value out of it because his Abrams got parried. So a series of unfortunate events for them, all because Chua is ready with the parry key during his ult, not just holding down left click. Oh, maybe even a triple kill. Bomb doesn't kill him, barely. Okay, Vinny cleans him up. They are going to get Guardian. We're having to trade because our right lane is under a lot of pressure to the Wraith and Viper, so we're doing our best to get as much pressure as possible. He's anticipating stomps from Dynamo. Yep, he plays up high, avoids the stomp damage, playing near walls. He's going to be ready to use his stamina and double jump at any moment. Another parry on this Abrams. Another parry on the Abrams. Baits the parry of the Dynamo. Very well done. Love seeing this gameplay from a Warden because most people focus on punching or parrying on heroes that get a lot of value out of melees. Look at how much value he's getting out of it on an M1. So, well, an off carry, right? Warden isn't necessarily considered a hyper carry, but he is considered an off carry. He does get Cultist Sacrifice around the 8-minute mark, which is when the tier 3s are up, which is the best time to get Cultist Sacrifice, so you can eat a tier 3, maximize the amount of souls you're getting from the active ability of it. So, good timing on his itemization. Baits his parry so that he can smack him inside of tower. Not sure how that melee missed, actually. I feel like that parry should have hit, but still, he's active on the parries, even under tower. He knows that Abrams is going to go in and parry his tower, so he baits the second parry, since parry will reset after tower. Very well done. He's going to go right back to that lane to try and preserve that Guardian, keep getting some fights here. His lane is also very, very strong and right. The wave is pushed up. Vindicta seems to be holding off the Viper very well. Viper's 1 HP, so this is clearly the best lane to be pushing into. Help your page.
Put this to good use.
Today you're making history.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't go for their Sinners here. Maybe he's wanting some objective damage. Maybe he feels strong enough that he can go for that. Their Sinners is up. I definitely would have been stealing that. He does find what is looking to be a free kill here. Yep.
Neutralized.
That is very lucky. Found an overly aggressive Dynamo. Now I think we're going for Sinners. Yep. I would have liked to see this a little bit sooner, but I mean, he did catch the low health Dynamo, so maybe he knew something I didn't or heard a comm that I don't hear, but I would have liked to see this a little bit sooner. As a teammate, beautiful hook into the Binding Word. Yeah, broke his mental. Absolutely gorgeous. I'd like to see an ult here potentially. Yep, okay, good anticipation on that. So he anticipates that they're not only going to be fighting a Geist, but fighting her ult. Yep, so he knows he's going to have to essentially kill her twice, and then they're going to be able to get pressure in the objective. Since Viper is pushing their mid, they're probably going to be pushing this lane for as much pressure. He goes back to buy really quick before shoving that wave under Walker. Oh, he decides not to. So interesting choice. Probably because death timers are so low. If I'm him, I'm probably pushing that Walker against the Drifter, just fighting. But apparently he felt, you know, better about just continuing to farm in side lane, which isn't a bad choice. Maybe he missed the timing on it. You know, personally, I wouldn't have gone back to buy. I would have just shoved to the Walker and then bought later. But Chua made this choice. Unfortunately, can't do anything in a 1v3. It actually was a 1v4, but Dynamo hadn't made it there in time, so we do lose Guardian. Let's get back into the game when we're playing. Okay. Very good look for Urn here. Page, very heads up play to be grabbing the Urn, even if we're just denying it. We do want to fight this. We've got Warden ult, we've got Bebop ult, we've got Vinny Snipes, we've got Page ult. We are in a very strong position to be fighting this, especially since we have a lot of counters to the Dynamo ult with, well, not a lot, actually, sorry. We have Page ult to counter Dynamo ult, so we're not as scared of it. Not to mention, you know, Warden's ult doesn't go away in the Dynamo ult, so we'll just get continual pressure. So we do fight the Urn. We're willing to give up Guardian for it. We'll see if they pressure Walker here against our Billy. Billy has ult to get them under Walker, so looks like they are contesting him. We'll see how Billy does. He does have a soul disadvantage and numbers disadvantage. Looks like we're gonna have to trade Walkers. So very, very normal to see this. Sorry. Very normal to see this. We know we're losing Walker here, so we're gonna get the Walker here, but we got Urn as well. So positive trades, right? Deadlock is a breakdown of trades. In this particular time, you know, we're 13 minutes into the game, we're pressuring a Walker, they're pressuring a Walker, we just got Urn. So if we can trade Walkers and we got the Urn depot for our team, that's a positive trade for us. If it's a neutral trade, that's fine, which is just Walkers, but we just so happen to fight and win Urn depot, so trading Walkers at this point would now be the positive trade. It's a positive trade for them if they get a Walker over Urn, in my opinion, because of the slot, but, you know, it looks like we're going to be getting both slot and Urn depot. Big positive trade from the team. He's going to ult to make sure it's easy as possible. absolutely insane. So it's almost crazy that this is an Eternus game. Drifter teleports back in and tries to melee Chua MC. After this game, I feel like I should just never try to parry or melee Chua MC ever. You hear that rebuttal sound? That's because we got him. So Chua MC hits the parry. It's actually very, very common for a Drifter to melee after they teleport in. And Chua was anticipating that. It's much easier to react to something you're anticipating, so don't be reactive, be proactive. He knew he had Mark on him. He knew he could get teleported on any moment. He was ready with the parry, and unfortunately, we didn't punish it. But later in the game, it's going to be very hard not to punish. It's going to be very easy. It's a strong play. Not always does a play work out, but knowing that it's a strong play is important. So seeing that Chua's making the right plays even if we don't get all the punish, that's most important. Very well played, good chase.
They never had a chance.
Good escape too. Him and his Billy are probably coming to each other that they don't want to fight anymore and they want to get out, so teleporter's the easiest way to get as far away as possible, as quickly as possible. Vinny does finish off a Dynamo. We're looking for bridge buffs in about 15 seconds. We'll see if Chua does that after this camp, if he's paying attention to the clock or if we're going to miss the timing. May go for Sinners first, may go for the wave first, we'll see. Paige is giving him the wave, so he must be giving bridge buff to his teammates. He's getting the wave farm. Unfortunately, we do lose that bridge buff on this left side with our Warden. But I think Vinny got our right side bridge buff, so again, equal trade, neutral trade. Each team got a bridge buff. We would like, when we're in a soul lead, we would like to get a secure on both bridge buffs to maintain that pressure, maintain that tempo. But Chua is just side laning. He's playing off carry and he is trying to get souls for it because their hyper carry is ahead of him by 3k souls and his hyper carry is neutral with him. So we have two off carries in this game. We got Vindicta and Warden. And so I think he's just trying to stay as healthy as possible. He's trying to teleport over to this urn fight, but I don't think they're trying to defend the depot since it was already deposited, I believe. Oh no! Excuse me, it wasn't deposited yet. We're simply wanting to fight this as best we can. This is a crazy fight to have. He did use return fire, got a lot of value out of that in his ult, but unfortunately it looks like we lost the fight and they get earned. So really big trades for them. You're about to see this soul lead. The gap is about to go, it was 10k, it's now 7k. It's probably going to go to like 3k, 2k. 3k, I guess. So, oh, 2k. All right. That narrow gap is alarming. So we're gonna have to see how his team comes back from this. Not that they're behind, but you know, giving up a 10, 11k soul lead is something you have to block in for. High Eternus lobbies won't allow you to just get that back. They're gonna fight tooth and nail for it. He sees enough people fighting here and sees her clearing wave that he knows he's at most going to be fighting Drifter, and he's okay with that. So Chua is taking this fight because he is comfortable with it. Unfortunately, Dynamo does rotate over with ult, and so we get punished here. Nice parry, but there's now 3 here, so he was rotated on from his right side. Hopefully his team is able to win this team fight, but we'll find out. It may have taken too long. Abrams isn't going down fast enough, and we now have a rotation over from their hyper carry, their strongest player, so dangerous territory. We're getting into mid-boss territory in Eternus. It starts around 17 18 minutes, generally speaking. If you can get enough kills, that's mid-boss potential. So very dangerous to be fighting a fight here. He is going to be split pushing a walker. I think he's thinking to himself that my team's potentially going to lose this and Hayes is going to help. Bebop's pressuring here. If I pressure here, I either force them to pull back, force them to trade walker, or they lose 2 walkers. So he decides to apply pressure across the map. I do like this decision. I would have made a different decision. I think I would have fought with my team under walker. But I do like that he's allowing Bebop to get pressure here. And now he's getting pressure here. So Wraith defended this walker, or tried to. It lost to minions. But now they're going to lose this walker too. And the most they're going to get is trading this walker. Now they may be able to get mid-boss. We'll see. But Chua's probably going to die for this walker. Even going to ult it. Yep. His constant switches around to try and get that that ult damage anywhere he can. Very, very close fight. Okay, so actually incredible to see this from Chua, because Chua is 7k behind her. In any other elo, he most likely loses this fight. Now, she did just heal a lot after, you know, healing minions, the wave, etc. Paige needs to be getting out of there, but he played this masterfully to be able to get out there. His usage of shields, return fire, his usage of ults, constantly making sure he's getting as much out of that ult lifesteal as possible. And he does get the walker. So we got 2 walkers for 1. Positive trade for us, especially considering the fact that they no longer have a very strong mid-boss exchange here, because we're all alive and we have Paige ult, so, and Billy ult. Very, very strong trades from our team to get 2 slots, 2 walkers, lots of map pressure. And we are fighting on mid-boss, it looks like. Or around it, I guess. Oh my goodness, what a cage. Very well done. We are able to kill this Wraith with enough pressure. Unfortunately, we have no cooldowns. Pretty sure we're bugged here, so if I go back, we'll see his real cooldowns. Yeah, we just have nothing left. We don't even have Fleetfoot, so Geist just comes and gets a free kill here, but
I will not be forgotten.
let's see. They should get mid-boss here. They've got a lot of kills, 20 minutes in. Definitely a mid-boss for them. We'll see. Bebop looks like he's wanting to maybe contest. He went in. Looks like he's gonna die. He wasn't able to steal one. Usually that's the goal. If you want, you can send one person in, try and steal 1 rejuve. That way, the most you lose is 1 player, and the most you gain is 1 rejuve, which is stops their push a little bit. So something to consider. You can send in 1 player to try and contest it if you don't have a big team contest. Looks like he wasn't able to get anything out of it, but
Walker is under attack.
Decisions, friend.
so he is trying to deny the urn there. He's trying to pressure Abrams off and deny the urn. Unfortunately, he's unable to. Gets out so he doesn't get collapsed on by that drifter. He may just have to play the urn depot with his team contesting it. Although I don't love an urn contest here because they do have dynamo ults and they have the soul lead and they have the rejuves. So it feels like we may just have to give urn here. We'll see what our team decides to do. What the comms are like, we don't know. Makes it tough to know what they're trying to accomplish.
I can afford anything at the shop.
They delivered the urn.
Alchemical flash.
So Chua is still just scaling. He understands that he can't really fight them because they have rejuves. And his team is protecting the walker. They had to give urn. He's really just scaling still, trying to get a little bit more farms so he could get the tier 4 item that he's, you know, trying for, whatever it may be. We're about to find out. It's most likely a tier 4. Yeah, Siphon Bullets. now he's going to be able to fight with a massive power spike under his walker with ult, or, you know, behind his walker, I suppose, at this point. They do get the rejuve there. Now he pops ult. He's trying to help his haze. He's trying to see as many people with this ult at a time, so he's constantly turning around, hitting as many people, getting that lifesteal. And then he's using his gun to get as many Siphon Bullet stacks as possible. Fortunately, he does go down. We've gotten all 3 rejuves and we've only lost 2 people. That's a pretty strong defense. We can now play base behind base guardians. We'll see how their push goes. They do get base guardians. Our Winions trade base guardians. Incredible. Let's see what it's like when we're playing the game. We are even on objectives. We are 20k plus behind in souls, unfortunately. So we'll see how we come back from that, if we do come back from that. I don't know that they win this, to be honest with you. This could have been a loss. I like this buy from him to get Metal Skin. Viper, Wraith, and Geist are all doing an enormous amount of gun damage. As you can see, the Mercurial Magnum is based around his gun being unlimited, so, you know, he just constantly gets spirit damage with those gun shots, but we've got a lot of damage. Oh, Drifter as well with the gun damage, but Wraith, their Hyper, carries 38k souls. Geist is building Berserker, will probably get Spell Slinger soon, has Leech for more bullet damage, weapon damage rather. We just got a lot going on here that Metal Skin is going to provide a lot of value for. You know, he got Return Fire earlier for the same reason, cheaper version essentially, but now he's got Metal Skin. See if he could stay in the game. You know, when the Hyper Carry has over 12k on you, I mean, it's really, really tough to come back from, so this is looking really grim for him, but you never give up hope. We are trying to deny the urn or depot since it is a retake urn, so mid-boss isn't up. It's not a possibility. Even if it was, we would need several kills, which is hard to get with a soul disadvantage. So what's the #1 objective priority? If you know, type it in the comments. For those watching the video after, type it in the chat, but retake urn. Retake urn is your answer. Always the #1 priority if mid-boss isn't up. It is the easiest way to get back into a game of souls. He's gonna pop Metal Skin and still get absolutely shredded by all that spirit damage, the Merc Magnums and whatnot. It's actually tragic how much damage he just took through Metal Skin. So Merc Magnum, the spirit damage from Abrams, that was quite the destruction there. So unfortunately, we do get caught by the Wraith ult. We're not able to use any abilities, any movements. We get shoved into a wall, and they're going straight through Metal Skin with the Merc Magnum damage, so that is unfortunate. So we're losing our shrines. We lost 1 shrine. Gonna fight outside of base on the other. Got Haze going for an ult. I'm expecting him to try and get an ult here.
Nice work.
He's trying to get an ult off, I imagine, trying to get into a position where he can. That Merc Magnum just going straight through his Metal Skin. Maybe he's not wanting to commit to this fight because we're not in base, and team is coming that we're trying to get out. We're not wanting to fight this, so unfortunately we're forced back into it. This is no longer a choice. They are pushing us so hard, we have to be fighting them here. So we've got Metal Skin back up. He just popped Return Fire. We're just trying to survive. We're so close to our base. We want to reset here. We don't want to fight when we're 1 HP when you're this close to base. So very smart for him to back out here. Mid-boss is also up. We want to have as many people alive to contest mid-boss as possible since they're going to shred it. Very smart for him to back out and not get thirsty for the kills inside of his ult. Another form of Eternus discipline I'd like to mention here. So like we mentioned earlier in the video, that there are a lot of players that will just M1, you know, hold their mouse click down, their left click down for Warden ult and just get as much damage as possible. Don't press parry, don't press anything else. He's not only pressing parry during his ults and playing it the best way he can, he's also very, very trigger disciplined, if you will, on pushing with his ult. Even though his ult is active, doesn't mean he has to just run them down. He backs out, resets, contests mid-boss. They get one rejuve. They kill the other two, so they killed 2 rejuves. They got 2 kills. Vindicta got out alive with 1 HP, it looks like, which is incredible. They got a 3rd kill. This is a huge comeback for them to contest this. So not only did they contest mid, but they killed 2 of them that had rejuves. Got 3 confirmed kills, since they had no more rejuves. Used their rejuve, and didn't lose anybody in the process. Huge comeback there. We've now leveled the playing field a little bit. We do have numbers advantage, so we can get a little bit of farm, get some items, get back into the game. You guys are probably calling me dumb. I said I don't know if this is a win or loss, but it literally showed it while we were getting ready to watch the replay. But I don't remember, so here we are. So they are just trying to farm back into this game after getting those kills, because they essentially saved the game. Like they could have lost off that mid boss if it didn't go, you know, exactly how it went, really. We do have bridge boss in 15. I wonder if we're going to be positioning for those. I would love to see him positioning for those. In fact, nobody's positioning for them. I feel like this is a big misplay. Their team is positioning for that right side caster buff. Looks like Billy might be able to get it. He's probably going to get punished for it. We'll find out, but not positioning around the bridge buffs is, especially this late in the game, big misplay from Chua here and his team. If I'm being honest, I expect much more out of them than that. Abram's ult coming in, he gets Wraith ulted. Very unfortunate. He is going to try and ult for the resistances and the lifesteal, but it is not enough. 3 of his teammates go down there. Unfortunately, that means Patron's going down. There's no way they don't get Patron here in a 6v3. That's going to be tough. Now, I don't know if they end the game off this. It looks like it's close. You know, we're running out of clock here. But they most definitely will be downing Patron. There's nothing we can really do to defend. So Patron goes down, our timer gets cut down, skip a little bit. They do leave after downing Patron because they know they can't stay. We're all alive. Our team seems to be trying to chase some kills. They're maybe going to try and get a kill off of a Billy ult or a Bebop hook. Some sort of initiation on, you know, Dynamo, Drifter, whoever they can find over there. We weren't able to, so it looks like we're just going back to, you know, farming any way we can. We have, you know, nearly a 30k soul deficit here, so very, very difficult game to be a part of. But Chua MC just trying to get... He really wants that Witch Mail because of the Merc Magnum. You know, he thinks that that spirit damage proccing constantly off Merc Magnum bullets and whatnot is going to be able to give him a lot of CDR. Getting CDR on his Binding Word and on his flasks, not to mention his shields, but these 2 in particular is going to allow a lot of defense for his team to be able to constantly pressure the enemy to be becoming bound or, you know, reducing their stamina and weapon damage, not to mention fire rate, their move speed. It's going to be very defensive for him to have Witchmail, so he was farming to get that item. He now has it. We don't have to worry about mid-boss threat for a minute 40. So the enemy team, if I'm the enemy team, I'm calming, let's farm, keep scaling, maintain our lead. We go for mid-boss in a minute 40 and force them to contest. We either bait mid-boss or we just full-on go for it with the Dynamo ults. Dynamo does not have Unstoppable yet. He's working on it, but he does have Refresher and Cheat Death. Oh no, he did get Unstoppable. Okay, yeah, I mean, it would have been a misplay if he didn't, but now that he has Unstop, they can just fight mid. They don't even need a pick. He can just Unstoppable on top of it, and unless we have Unstops, we won't be able to do anything about it. Looks like we have only Haze with Unstop, so yeah, and we just lost her, unfortunately. Alright, so Chua going into the back line here, trying to fight as best he can, getting absolutely murdered by this enemy team. There comes the Dynamo ult. He's just spinning his ult around, trying to get as much value as possible, but a refresher Dynamo ult, that looks like it's going to seal the game. Unless we could get some big trades on Dynamo and Abrams here. Geist isn't dying, she's healing a ton, she still has ult. Can she get it off? Hopefully not. Let's go ahead and skip a little bit. They do get Geist. They are going for mid boss while we are dead. They get all 3 rejuves and kill our Bebop while he tried to steal 1. Same play as before. Unfortunately, it was predicted. They now have a 30k soul lead with 6 rejuves. Sorry, 3 rejuves, 6v5. Well, this game's looking like a wrap here. There's almost nothing you can do in this situation, unfortunately, when you're down this far and they have rejuves and your patron is down. You guys have to play in the pit as long as possible and stagger who's in the pit. So if you're getting low, you leave, somebody else gets in the pit. But if 3 of you are in there, it's invulnerable, so they literally can't end the game. But yeah, taking so much damage, just not sure. They're going to try and get as many rejuves as possible. It's just going to be almost impossible to hold the patron from dying here. Yeah, they just got 2 kills. Chua and Billy go down. We'll go ahead and watch this from a player who's alive's perspective. Just not much Vindicta can do. Trying to do as much damage as possible, maybe keep him out of the pit, but we've only gotten 1 rejuve. They still have 2 rejuves, so that is game. So, you don't always win them, right? This is a professional game of Chua MC playing into a tough lane matchup, but he and Hayes played it very, very well. Had a pretty strong mid game. They gave up the lead early in the mid game, and they were just never quite able to catch up with the Drifter and Wraith hyper carries. Seems like they just were able to run through our team. And go ahead and take a look at Chua's stats here. Really good damage, really good healing, mostly from self-healing, but unfortunately you can't win them all. They did have the Unstop Refresher Dynamo ult that won them the last team fight, allowing them to get mid-boss, which was the last push, and then that just allows for the M1s to do tons of damage, Wraiths do 32k objective damage. She pretty much soloed some of the walkers and a lot of the patron there at the end. Her and Viper with the Merc Magnum and high fire rate just shredding through our enemy or our friendly team's metal skins and whatnot. Lots of counterplay on our team, but unfortunately they weren't able to get the cinched win here. But very interesting gameplay here, fun to watch. Hopefully, you learned something from the analysis. Hopefully it was a little bit helpful for us to go over this game. Some Warden gameplay from one of the better Wardens in North America. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this type of content. I do enjoy doing pro VOD reviews like this. I like watching professional players and analyzing them myself, and so giving you guys my perspective as an Eternus player on it is fun. I do enjoy this, so hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. Those are the only VOD reviews or pro VOD reviews that I want to do today. I don't have any live coaching or other VOD reviews that I'm going to be doing, but for those who are watching this after the fact, hopefully you're enjoying the YouTube videos that I'm putting out around these pro VOD reviews, and hopefully I'll be able to do your hero next. Go ahead and leave some comments on the heroes you'd like to see next or the professionals that you'd like to see next. If you have a pro player you'd like to see them play, or a combination, if you want to see Ido playing Mina or Pocket, or if you want to see Deathy playing Lash, you want to see these different combinations, I'm happy to find games for you. If you have a match ID you would like me to analyze specifically, you can also leave that in the comments as well. I'm more than happy to take suggestions from you guys. Otherwise, I'm just kind of doing it on my own terms, but hopefully my perspective as an Eternus coach helps. And just keep in mind, all coaching and VOD reviews are free. I don't charge anything. You can support me through my Patreon, but go ahead and join our Discord to figure out and learn about the coaching and the VOD reviews, how those work, how to sign up for it. the Discord is in the description of all my YouTube videos and the Patreon as well for further support if you like the content. But that's gonna be all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Wow.